Before the coffee finishes, stay standing right there a moment longer. Before you pick up that phone, before anybody else in that house is up, and the day starts asking you for things. 1 minute. That is all I am asking for. Maybe you are standing in a dark kitchen with a mortgage that has 9 years left on it, and no idea what November looks like. Maybe you have a prescription in that cabinet you have been splitting in half, and you have not told a soul you are doing it. Maybe you have a daughter you text more than you hear back from, and you check the phone before you check the weather. Maybe you got passed over at work again by somebody 12 years younger, and you smiled about it in the break room anyway. Maybe there is an envelope on the counter that has been sitting there 4 days now, and you already know what is inside it, and you still have not opened it. Maybe it is quieter than any of that. Maybe nothing is wrong on paper, and you woke at 4:20 anyway and could not get back down. If even one of those is you, stay with me. You did not go looking for this, it came looking for you. Of all the things that could have been in front of you at this hour, on this particular morning, in this particular kitchen, it is this. Somebody knew you would be awake. And the first thing I want to say to you is not a promise about your money or your body or that phone. It is smaller than that, and it will carry more weight. You are not walking into today by yourself, not 1 hour of it. Stay standing there. There is something I want you to do with your hands first. Set the phone face down, screen against the counter so it cannot look at you. Whatever is on it was on it an hour ago. It will keep. Now take 1 breath in and let it out longer than you took it in. Slower going out than coming in. That is the whole thing. Do it once more if the first one was short. Now put both feet flat on the floor. Both of them. Flat. You have been standing on one hip since you got up, and your body knows it even if you do not. There. Now look at the window over the sink. The steam is coming off that coffee, and in about 4 minutes the light is going to catch it. You have seen it 100 times without ever watching it. The whole room stays grey, and then that one thread of steam goes gold before anything else in the house does. First light does not start with the sky. In your kitchen, it starts with the coffee. Here is what I want in your ears while you watch that. It is from Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Now hear it the way your grandmother would have said it at that table. Trust him with the whole thing, not just the part you have already figured out. Stop trying to see the map. Bring him into the ordinary hours, the drive, the shift, the phone call you are dreading, and he will handle the road. You will say that verse yourself before we are finished, out loud, in your own voice. But first you need to know what it costs to trust a road you cannot see the end of. Here is where the next hour is going, so you know. We are going to pray over what you owe. The money part, first, because it is sitting closest to the front of your mind. Then over your body, the ache you have stopped mentioning, the appointment, the pills. Then over the people at your table, and the one who is not at it. Then over this week, and the fact that you have to start it without knowing how it ends. And then, last, over the next 16 hours. From this kitchen to that bed tonight, stay to the end for that one. The last one is for the part of today you are already dreading, the part you have not said out loud to anybody yet, including him. Before any of that, I want to take you to a shoreline, in the dark, with an army coming. There is a word in that verse people walk right past. Direct. He shall direct thy paths. Not describe them, not explain them to you in advance. Direct them, the way a hand on your shoulder turns you at a crossroads without saying anything. That is not how any of us want to be led. We want the map first, then the walk. He gives the walk first and the map after. Picture this: 600,000 people on foot, with children, with animals, with everything they own strapped to their backs. They have been walking 3 days. In front of them is water, not a river, a sea, wide enough that you cannot see the far side of it. Behind them is a sound they have been listening to get louder since noon: chariots, 600 of them, and the whole of Pharaoh's army behind those. They had been slaves the week before. Now they are penned between the water and the wheels. Here is what they could see with their own eyes: water they could not cross, an army they could not fight, high ground on both sides, and no gap anywhere. They could see that the road they were on simply ended, and here is the part that made it worse. They had been led there, on purpose, by the cloud. God's own pillar had walked them into that corner. Here is what they could not see: that the wind was already changing, that the floor of that sea was down there the whole time, under all that water, made and dry and waiting, that in a few hours their grandchildren would be told this story. Moses says it straight into the panic: "Fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Stand still." He says that to people with an army coming. Then the cloud moves. It had been out ahead of them all that time, showing the way. That night it goes around behind them and stands between the army and the people. The same cloud, a different position, dark on one side, light on the other, all night long. And the wind blows all night, not 10 minutes, all night. They stood there, in the dark, listening to a wind and an army and a sea, and nothing looked like rescue yet. That is the part nobody paints. The cost of that night was the hours. Standing in the dark, holding a child's hand, not knowing. By morning there is a road where the water was, and they walk out on ground nobody had ever set a foot on before. Long afterward, somebody wrote a line about it in the Psalms: "Thy way is in the sea, and thy path in the great waters, and thy footsteps are not known." Footsteps not known, meaning he had already been across. They just could not see where he stepped. Now come back to your kitchen. You are not standing in front of a sea. You are standing in front of a coffee maker. But hear how close it actually is. You have water in front of you, the mortgage. The number at the bottom of that statement, the thing the doctor said he wanted to look at again. And you have something behind you too, the 11 months since the thing happened, the one you have never fully told anybody about. Water in front, wheels behind. A kitchen is a narrow place to be standing. And this is the part I do not want you to miss. They were led there. That corner was not a mistake, and it was not punishment, and it was not God losing track of anybody. The cloud went in first. What do you do when the God who led you is the reason you are standing where you are standing? I am not going to tell you that every hard thing in your life was arranged for your good. I do not know that, and neither does anyone who says it lightly. I will tell you this instead. There is no corner you can be standing in this morning that he has to be told about. He is not behind on your situation. He has not just now heard. And notice where that cloud ends up. Out front, when what they needed was a direction. Behind them, when what they needed was something standing between them and what was chasing them. Same God, moving to where he was needed. He does not always lead from where you are looking. You have been staring straight ahead for months, waiting for him to show up in front of you, holding an answer. It is entirely possible that he has been standing behind you the whole time, keeping something from reaching you, and you would never know it. You would only know that nothing has caught you yet. Here is what I want you to carry out of that story and into this day. Their job that night was not to make the water move. Their job was to stay on their feet until morning. That is all. Do not go back. Do not lie down. Do not run at the army with a stick. Stand still and let the night pass. I know how that lands at 5 in the morning when you have been standing a long while already. So we are not going to leave it there, because there is something in your praying that has to change before this week starts. It is not how hard you pray, and it is not how early you get up. It is what you have been asking for. Here it is, plain. You asked him for a way out. He is giving you a way through. Those are not the same thing, and the difference is where most of your disappointment has been living. A way out means the water is gone when you wake up. The debt is cleared. The test comes back clean. The phone rings. The job appears. That is what you have been praying for, and there is nothing wrong with it. Keep praying it. But a way through means the water is still there, and you are moving anyway. It means ground under your feet, where there is no business being ground. It means you get to the other side, and you get there tired, and you get there. Now, I know what you are thinking. You are thinking that is a nice way of saying no. You are thinking that is easy to say when it is not your mortgage, and not your bank account, and not your name on that statement. You are thinking you have heard the through not out line before, usually from somebody who was not living through much of anything at the time. And underneath that, quieter, you are thinking, I did not ask for a character-building experience. I asked for help with the electric bill. I am not going to talk you out of any of that. It is fair, and he can take it. But look at what actually gets said in that book to people standing exactly where you are standing. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, through, not around, not instead of. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, through the valley, not lifted out of it before the light went. Do you know what he never once promised anybody in there? A week without weather. Listen to what Jesus told his friends the night before the worst day of his life. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. He did not offer them a quiet week. He offered them himself inside a loud one, and Jesus did not stand on the shore calling out instructions. He got in the boat. He got in the water. He went the whole way through the thing he was asking them to walk into. That is not a technicality. That is the whole difference between a God who advises you and a God who comes with you. You have driven that stretch of road in fog, coming home late, and it comes up off the fields, and 3 miles out you cannot see past the hood of the car. Your headlights give you 200 feet. That is all you get. 200 feet of road, over and over. And here is what you did not do. You did not stop in the middle of the lane and wait for the fog to lift. You did not turn around and drive back to where the air had been clear. You went the speed that 200 feet allowed. And here is the strange thing, the thing you have felt in your own hands on the wheel. The 200 feet keeps arriving. It moves when you move. You never actually run out of road. You only ever run out of visibility. You got home that night, not because the fog lifted, because it did not lift. You got home because 200 feet was always enough for the next 200 feet. That is what he is holding out to you for this week. Not the whole road. Enough of it. Lean not unto thine own understanding, the verse said. Your understanding is the high beams. You keep flipping them on, and the light comes straight back at you off the fog, and you see less than you did before. He led 3 men into a furnace and walked around in it with them. He let Paul board a ship that came apart in pieces, and every single soul on it came up on that beach alive. He let Joseph go all the way into a prison cell before one bit of it made sense. Out was not the pattern. Through was the pattern. Every time. So here is where I want to set you down, and I want to set you down gently. You have been praying the wrong prayer with the right heart. Nothing about that is wasted. He caught every one of them. But this morning, in this kitchen, you can pray a different one. Not, get me out of this. Just, do not let go of my hand in the middle of it. That prayer has never one time been turned down. And in a few minutes I am going to say your actual life out loud. The specific things, the ones you have not told anybody, and then we are going to carry them to him, one at a time. Let me bring it down to the table you are actually standing next to. Not a metaphor. Your table. There is a mortgage on this house with 9 years left on it, and you have done that math more times than you would admit. 9 years. You will be 70. And every time you run it, you land in the same place, which is that it works if nothing goes wrong. That is the whole plan. Nothing goes wrong. There is an envelope on that counter you have not opened. It has been there since Thursday. You moved it once, under the mail flyer, so you would stop seeing it. You know what is in it. You are not confused about what is in it. You just have not had a morning yet, where you felt like you could hold it. The electric bill went up again. The groceries went up again. You put things back on the shelf now, quietly, so nobody behind you in the aisle would notice. You have started buying the store brand of the one thing you always bought the name brand of, and it is a small thing, and it stung more than a small thing should. There is a prescription in that cabinet you have been splitting, half in the morning, sometimes half at night, sometimes not. You told yourself you would ask the pharmacy about the copay, and then you did not ask, because you already knew what they would say. You are stretching it to the next Social Security check. That is what you are doing. Let us call it what it is. There is a follow-up appointment on the calendar, on the side of the refrigerator, written in pen, circled once. You have not told your daughter about it. You told yourself there is no point worrying anybody until there is something to worry about. That is not the real reason, and you know it. There is a shoulder that has been aching since spring, and you have stopped mentioning it. There is a knee on the stairs. There is the way you hold the railing now, and how much you hate that you hold the railing now. And there is the phone. You checked it before you checked the window this morning. You always do. You are waiting on your daughter. 3 days since you sent the picture of the yard. Nothing yet. She is busy. You know she is busy. You have said the word busy to yourself so many times, it has gone soft. The grandchildren are getting older in pictures. There is a chair in that front room. Nobody sits in anymore, and you have not moved it, and you are not going to. Thanksgiving is coming, and you have already started doing the arithmetic on who will actually be at that table, and you have not said one word about it out loud. There is work. There is a shift on Wednesday you are not looking forward to. There is a manager half your age who explains things to you slowly. You were passed over in March. You smiled. You went out to your car in the parking lot afterward and sat there with the engine off for 11 minutes. And you cannot retire. Not yet. Maybe not for a long while. That is your Tuesday morning. That is the actual pile. And none of it is dramatic. And all of it is heavy. And you carry it in a bathrobe at 5:20 in the morning, where nobody claps. Now let me put one more man in the room with you. There is a boat, in the dark, in the middle of a lake, and it is going nowhere. 12 men, most of them fishermen, so this is not their first bad night on that water. Jesus had sent them across ahead of him. He stayed back on the mountain to pray. The wind comes up against them, and the boat stops making progress. They row from evening until nearly dawn, 9 hours of rowing to cross something they could have crossed in 2, and somewhere in that fourth watch of the night, the worst hour, the one right before the light. A figure comes toward them on the water. They think it is a ghost. They cry out, every one of them, and he speaks first, before he is even in the boat. Be of good cheer, it is I. Be not afraid. Peter, who never once in his life waited for a better moment, says it. Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And Jesus says one word, come. So Peter goes over the side. Understand what that means. He put his weight on nothing. He stood on a place that had never once held a man, and it held. And then he saw the wind. That is how it is written. He saw the wind boisterous. He looked at the storm, instead of at the face in front of him, and he began to sink, and he got out 4 words. Lord, save me. 4 words. That is the whole prayer. No preamble, no apology for how the last few months of his praying had gone. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him. Immediately, not after a lesson, not after Peter got his faith sorted out. Caught him first, talked to him after. Then they both got in the boat, and the wind stopped. Here is what I want you to take from that. Peter is the only one who got wet, and Peter is the only one who ever walked on water. Both of those are true at the same time, and neither one cancels the other. And notice where Jesus was that whole night, up on that mountain, alone, praying, which means he was praying while they were rowing. They thought they were out there by themselves. They were being prayed for by name, from a hillside they could not see. That is happening over you this morning. He ever liveth to make intercession for them, it says. Right now, while you stand in that kitchen doing the math on the mortgage. Jesus is praying for you, and you cannot hear a word of it. So let us stop talking about it and go to him. I am going to pray over you now, out loud, one thing at a time, and I am going to start with the envelope. Father, I bring you a woman standing in a dark kitchen this morning with a mug in her hands. You know her name. I do not have to give it to you. The first thing I bring you is what she owes. You already know the number at the bottom of that statement. You knew it before she opened it, and she has not opened it yet. Lord, it is still sitting on that counter, under the flyer. You know the 9 years left on that house. You know the electric bill went up. You know what she put back on the shelf. You know she has started counting gas money by the week. And if that is you this morning, hear me. God is not surprised by your number. He is not standing over that counter, shocked at what came in the mail. Jesus told a crowd of working people that their Father knew what they had need of before they asked him. Before. Father, you fed a nation with bread that showed up on the ground overnight, 6 mornings a week, for 40 years. You told a woman down to her last handful of meal to make a small cake first, and the barrel did not run out. You are not short, so I ask you for provision that has her name on it, not a windfall, provision, enough for the bill, enough for the tank, enough for the week. And Lord, I ask you for the thing underneath the money, which is the fear. Take the 4 in the morning arithmetic out of her chest. He has fed people with less than this. He can feed you. Now, Father, her body. She is 61, and she is tired in a way that sleep has not been touching. There is a shoulder that has ached since spring. There is a knee on the stairs. There is a hand on the railing. There is a prescription in that cabinet, cut in half, because the copay is what it is. And there is an appointment, circled in pen, on that refrigerator that she has not told her daughter about. Lord, you made this body. You know every part of it that is complaining. And if that is you, hear me carefully. Keep that appointment. Go. Say the words out loud to the doctor about the pills and the cost. because that is not a failure of faith, that is stewardship of the body God gave you. Prayer is not a substitute for the pharmacy. It is what you take with you into the pharmacy. Father, you are the God that healeth. The psalm says, you heal all our diseases, and I am not going to soften it. I ask you to touch her, and where the healing is slow, I ask you to hold her steady inside the slowness. Jesus stopped in a crowd for one woman who had been sick 12 years and had spent everything she had on doctors. He was not annoyed by her. He called her daughter. She is not invisible in that waiting room to him. Now the people, Lord. There is a phone on that counter, face down, and it has not rung. There is a daughter 3 days quiet. There are grandchildren getting taller in photographs. There is a chair in the front room nobody sits in, and she is not moving it, and you know exactly why. And there is a table at Thanksgiving, with a seat at it, she has already counted twice. Father, you know what happened 11 months ago. She has not told anyone the whole of it. She does not have to tell you any of it. I ask you to go where she cannot go, into her daughter's day, in the middle of whatever is filling it. Nudge her. I ask you to keep every one of those grandchildren, on roads she will never drive, in rooms she will never stand in. And Lord, mend what has gone quiet in this family, in your timing, by your hand, not by her strain. And if that is you this morning, hear me. You cannot carry that person with worry. Worry has never once moved anybody. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. Hand them over, not once, every morning, as many mornings as it takes. The ones you love are held by stronger arms than yours. Now, Father, this week, she has to start it this morning without knowing how it ends. There is a shift on Wednesday she is dreading. There is a manager who talks to her like she is new. There is the march she does not bring up. There is a retirement she cannot afford yet, and a resume she keeps updating in a folder nobody opens. You know the whole road. She can see about 200 feet of it. So I pray your own words back over her. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Father, direct her paths this week. Order the days, order the hours, inside the days. Put her in the right room at the right minute. Keep her out of rooms she has no business in. Let her walk into Wednesday with something settled in her that the morning did not give her. And if that is you, you do not have to see the end of this week to start it. You have never once seen the end of a week before you started it. The cloud went first at that sea, and it will go first here. He knows the road. Follow the 200 feet, and last, Father, the next 16 hours. From this kitchen to that bed tonight, the drive, the parking lot, the phone call she has been putting off, the moment somewhere around 2 o'clock this afternoon when the whole thing catches up with her at once. You already know which hour today is going to be the hard one. She does not. Be in it. When it comes, be closer than the trouble is. Jesus was praying for those men while they were rowing in the dark, and Jesus is praying for her right now, and he will still be praying when the light goes tonight. Let her feel it once today, just once, enough to know she was not out there alone. Lord, she will not remember most of what she heard this morning by noon. Let her remember one thing, that you were awake with her at 5:20 and you did not leave when the video did. He goes with you into every hour of this day. Now stay with me, because there is something he wants to say back, and it is not my words, it is his. If the Father could sit down on the edge of that bed this morning, Scripture already tells us what he would say. Hear it in his words. I see you. I see you at 5:20 with the light off. I saw you at 4 when you woke and did not move, so you would not wake the house. I see the mug. It is the same one. I know why it is the same one. I was there when you sat in that car in the parking lot in March with the engine off. I was there when you put the thing back on the shelf and looked straight ahead so nobody would see your face. I was there when you cut that pill in half over the sink and told yourself it was fine. I was there 11 months ago, in the room, on the day, at the hour you do not say out loud. I have not needed you to explain any of it to me. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. You are written on my hands. Not in a book I keep somewhere, on my hands. I know what it cost you. I know what it cost to keep smiling in that break room. I know what it cost to say, I am fine to your daughter when you were not fine. I know what it cost to carry this by yourself so nobody else would have to. You think nobody counted those hours. I counted them. Thou tellest my wanderings. Put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? Every one of them is in the book. Not one went into the ground, and I am not disappointed in you. You have decided that I am. You decided it quietly, sometime this year, and you have been praying like a woman who thinks she is on thin ice with me. You are not. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. Now, not later, when you have got yourself sorted out. I have not left. I did not leave when your praying went flat. I did not leave when the ceiling seemed to be as far as the words got. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Hear that last part again. I will uphold thee, not I will watch to see if you can stand. And I have said it about the years you are afraid of. Even to your old age I am he, and even to hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear. Even I will carry, and will deliver you. I made you. I am not going to hand you off now. Here is what I am doing where you cannot see. I am not idle in the dark of your life. I am not waiting for better material. When my people stood in front of that water at night, the wind was already turning while they were still crying. They heard wind. They did not hear a road being made. It was being made. You have been looking straight ahead for me for months. Some of what I have done for you this year you will never know about, because it took the form of nothing happening, the thing that did not reach you, the road you did not take, the word that did not get said. I have stood behind you as often as I have gone in front of you. I am doing something with these 9 years you cannot see the shape of yet. I am doing something in the quiet between you and your daughter that neither of you is managing. I will not tell you what it will look like or when. I have never worked that way, and you would not walk by faith if I did. But I am not absent, and I am not late, and nothing you have gone through is being wasted. We know that all things work together for good, to them that love God. Together, not each thing good, worked together, by my hands, into something good. Here is what I ask of you today. Not more strength. You do not have more. Not a better attitude by 8 o'clock. I ask you to open the envelope, not because the number will change, because you have given a piece of paper on a counter more power over your morning than I have. Open it and bring me the number, and let us look at it together. I ask you to keep the appointment on that refrigerator. Go. Say the true thing about the pills to the person who can help. I gave you doctors the same way I gave the widow a barrel of meal. Use what I put in the room. I ask you to text your daughter first, again, without keeping score. And I ask you for the thing in that verse, and it is the hardest of the four. Lean not unto thine own understanding. Stop trying to see November. You will not see November this morning. Give me the whole week in one piece, instead of one worry at a time. And lo, I am with you alway, even unto the end of the world. Alway, every day of it, including this one, including Wednesday. That is not my word for you. Every line of it is His, written down long before you were born. Now He has spoken over you. It is your turn to speak, and I want to hear it out loud in that kitchen. Say these with me, out loud, your voice, not mine. It will feel strange for the first 2 lines, and then it will not. I am not walking into this week alone. God is with me in this kitchen at 5:20 in the morning. I declare that He knows my name and my number. I trust in the Lord with all my heart. I will not lean on my own understanding. In all my ways I acknowledge Him. He shall direct my paths. I declare it over Monday. I declare it over Wednesday. I declare it over the hour today that I am dreading. I refuse to carry this week in one armload. I refuse to do the math again at 4 in the morning. I refuse to call myself a burden for needing help. I receive what He gives me today, not what I wanted, what He gives. I am not forgotten. I am graven on the palms of His hands. I declare that my body belongs to God. He is the Lord who healeth me. He heals all my diseases, and He knows every ache I stopped mentioning. I will keep the appointment. I will say the true thing. I will not call that a lack of faith. I cast my burden upon the Lord. He shall sustain me. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. I declare over my daughter that God can reach her where I cannot. I declare over my grandchildren that He keeps them on roads I will never drive. I declare over that empty chair that God has not lost anyone. I am not behind. I am on a road with a hill in it. The hill is not the end of the road. I asked for a way out. He is giving me a way through. I will take the way through. I declare that Jesus prayed for me before I woke up. He ever liveth to make intercession for me. He is praying for me right now. I will not be afraid. God is with me. He will strengthen me. He will uphold me with the right hand of His righteousness. Even to my old age, He is He. He made me, and He will carry me. I have enough for today. I have 200 feet of road, and a God who has already been across. That is enough. Now let your voice come down, quieter. Just for you, I am seen, I am held. I am not walking into this week alone. Good. Now let me send you into your day. May the Lord keep you today, from the moment you set that mug down. May He go in front of you into every room you walk into, and stand behind you in the ones you dread. May He steady your hand on the railing and your heart on the stairs. May He put the right words in your mouth at that shift on Wednesday. May He carry what you cannot carry and quiet what you cannot quiet. May He reach your daughter where your voice cannot reach her. May He meet you in the 2 o'clock hour before it meets you. May He give you one small mercy today that you did not ask for and cannot explain. And may He bring you back to that bed tonight tired and held and not alone. In Jesus' name, Amen. Before you go, type the first name of the person you are carrying today. Just the name, nothing else. Somebody is going to scroll past it and pray for them, and you will never know who. That is how this works. If you want tomorrow to start like this one did, tap subscribe and turn on the bell. I will be here before the sun is. Tomorrow we pray about the door that opens today, the one you stopped knocking on, the interview, the answer, the phone call you gave up expecting. We will sit with a man who waited 38 years by a pool and still got up. Come back for that one. Set the mug down now. He is already in your day. Go on,